Hey, good evening, everybody. We're going to carry on with our squad leader campaign of our 15th company from the Nordland SS Viking Division. Reconnaissance company, so they got motorcycles, which I'm not going to be using in this scenario. It's only 2 to 3 map boards, so it's not going to be worthwhile to bring it in. And the counters will just clutter up the board, so we're just going to proceed without them. So, for those of you new to the channel there, what we're playing here is Solitaire Advanced Squad Leader. Slightly different than the normal squad leader rules. You're basically playing against an unknown enemy force that uses essentially the cloak and counter rules. It's a suspect counter, and you don't know what it's going to be until you activate it. It could be a KV2, like happened at the end of the last mission, or it could be a squad, and anything in between. It's real fog of war. You don't know what you're facing, and mission 3 recap. It was a hold the line mission, so basically the Russians were assaulting. They sent in a whole bunch of suspect counters. I believe it was like 72, of which half disappeared right off the bat because they ended up being nothing, which is a possibility. Um, and the other half, just because I had activated them early enough, were not really able to be effective. Most of them are 4.26s or 5.27s, or in a couple cases a 6.28, but they just didn't have the range to engage the Germans. And there was a lot of open ground farmland, and thus it led to a pretty well overwhelming German victory. The Russians had to amass 25 victory points in casualty or exit, and they only had 3 with 4 turns left to go. Now they generated a KV2 with 4 turns left to go, but even that, would not have been able to make a huge difference. So I ended up calling the game in turn 7 out of a possible 11 turns. That's what happened last time. So that brings us to this game. So I'm in the process of just setting up for mission number 4, which is going to be a cautious advance in the SASLHC Barbarossa, which is Solitaire ASL Historical Campaign Barbarossa from Hans Mielens. Mission number 4, Unknown Resistance, July of 41 still, and it's going to be a cautious advance mission, which I'm setting up, as I said. So what does the spreadsheet look like? This is a spreadsheet I've been using. I found online at Game Squad forums, which has everything you need to know to run a solitaire mission. Basically, it copies a lot of the stuff from the various tables and such that you can use into a software version, so you can use Excel, keep multiple tabs for each mission like I have. So this is what I went into mission number 3 with. This is what I left with. So basically the Russians had killed off 1 squad complete and 1 crew, as well as 1 ATR. It fell under an 80mm artillery OBA, and it got wiped out. One of my A1s did get promoted to an 8-0, so that was good. And after the battle, one A1 was further improved to become a 9-1. So I now have, going into mission number 4, a 9-2, a 9-1, and an 8-1 leader. I was able to roll full reinforcements, so I'm full up with manpower, 11 4.68s, 2 half squads, and 6 crews, and of course the full complement of weapons that they have. Now the reconnaissance company is SS, as I said, and it's an elite company, which basically meant that you're going to basically use a -4 on the reinforcement die roll. So if you don't know what that looks like, here under the solitaire rules, under MMC replacement type, you basically roll to see what it is. Now, because they're SS, they get a -2. And because of the year, they also get a further -2. So basically anything of 5 or less, and they're going to be getting a 4 or less, and they're going to become elite. So I rolled well. And so I have 2 elite 4.68s. Now, the rules don't really go into replacements of 4.68 for SS in general because they're SS. However, with Festung Budapest, they come out with a couple of rules where you can downgrade your 4.68. So I'm going to implement that. And so I have a chance of generating 4.47 SS and even 4.26, which are basic conscripts, but it's very unlikely that I'll ever generate any of those. However, they could get reduced to the point. Now, I'm not sure if Vassal does that with the SS counters. Like, I don't know if I can ELR or 468, but not that it would happen anyways because they have underlying morales, but in between battle refits phases, there's a possibility that it could end up with second line or even conscript troops. But as I said, it's a remote possibility just given the die roll modifiers that you add to it. So we're setting up cautious advance. So this is the first map board that you're going to see. There's going to be a possibility of two other ones. Right now they're not accessible because I haven't exposed them. But essentially when I move any one of these units here within 5 whole hexes of something along the eastern board edge, then I'll be able to roll for activation and to see what pops up. So there could be a maximum of 2 other boards that pop up. And as the name of the mission implies, cautious advance, it's just a matter of, exposing enemy, trying to eliminate certain pockets. And from a German perspective, try not to draw too many casualty points. So we'll have to see how that goes. The mission parameters. This is the mission card right here. So as you can see, once map board set up, maximum of 2 additionally may be activated when it comes within range. Each board has a number of VPO, victory point objectives, which are randomized, and around them you have various suspect counters, which I'll have to place, of course. And essentially, as I said, the mission is for the Germans to probe their way forward and try and get victory points using this victory point schedule right here. So control of VPOs. Enemy side gets VP for casualties. The friendly side gets casualty VP only for enemy guns and AFV. So as you can see, the Russians have a bit of an advantage there. However, the Germans overall have the advantage just because they're suspects and there's a chance that they may end up being nothing. And of course, each map board I pop up, I can get an extra 3 victory points. So it's depending on what the score is of the casualty track right now, I could be incentivized to activate map boards, or I could, just turtle it after I take these 3 objectives that are going to be on the first map board. So let's place those victory point objectives. In order for that to happen, you look at your VPO placement table. So this is board 11. And the VPOs are allotted according to table A10A of the ASL tables. Oop. One more. Oops. Apologies here. There we go. Rolled right past it. So we look at board 11. We have 6 little results, so I gotta roll those right now to see where they land. So 1, 2, 3. So 2, 1, 2. It's a repeat, so I'll do it again. 2, 1, 2, and 3. So we have VPOs in G4. Okay, sure. I6 and O7. So 2 buildings look like all the action is going to be happening on this side. So I may want to probably avoid this when I do my attack. All right, so now we place the actual VPO themselves. And they're based according to the mission parameters, which in this case are cases A, B, and C. So we look at the rules for that. I won't pull those up. So A is 1 suspect in each building, rubble, lumberyard location. That'll be interesting. And it can't be within 3 hexes of the friendly board edge. So basically, this house and these cluster houses obviously won't have any troops in them. All right, that's 4A. 4B is 1 in each woods brush location, including Board edges that has an odd or even coordinate is determined by die roll, so even die rolls. And it's got to be a conjunction of 3 or more hexes. So 3 hexes away, even numbers. So we go 4, 4, 4, 4. Now the VPO is likely to have at least 2 suspects sitting on top of it. I believe it's an orchard, so 1, 2, 3. Nope, brush location only. So orchards don't count. So in this case, because these hexes here all will lie within it, there's a half hex here. And there's one here. There's one here. There's one here. Now, as I said, these suspect counters could be anything from tank to a artillery piece to a single squad and anything in between. So this is a lot of stuff that potentially could be activated. I don't know what those numbers are yet. We'll find that out later. So my general plan right now is basically to send all my forces as an assault on here. Now, luckily for me, this is a level 1 hill. There's not going to be any line of sight going on. So even without placing the VPO locations, looks like I will be able to get good approaches until I crest the hill, and then it'll be really interesting. All right, so KC is 1 in each VPO location, as well as each concealment train adjacent to each VPO location. So 1, 2, 3, and a maximum of 2 can be placed in each location at start. Luckily, there's no concealment train around here, so I don't have to worry about that. All right, that's placement. So now let's do the parameters for it. So each mission card, if you've never seen a SASL mission card, has these parameters, which are random at every game, because that's the whole basic name of the game is randomness. So you never know what you're going to face. So I'm going to roll for all these stats, and I'll place them in the card on the right. So first we have enemy sand, 2 dice. Is a 10, which is a 3, so that's great for me. And for the Germans, a 4 is a 4. So for some reason, the Germans have a better sniper than the defensive Russians. Activation numbers, this word could get interesting. So could be a 2, 3, or 4, and it is a 3. So it's a 3 activation. Now we roll for random event numbers. So Russians first. Russians are 12, which is a, oh, that's single die, is a 6, which is a 3, 4. Germans are a 3, 4 as well. So we both have 3, 4. Random events are something that happen at the beginning of every turn, player turn, friendly and enemy. And as part of the wind change die roll, if I roll a 3 or 4, an event could happen. Well, event will happen. And so then I roll in the applicable table and determine what actually happens there. All right, and next we look at the sequence. VPO are determined, suspects are set up, and then friendly units are set up off board and may enter anywhere along the friendly board edge on after turn 1. Obviously, the Germans move first. All right, so I'm going to send an assault squad right onto the top of the hill. They're going to be working their way onto the board using concealment to eradicate those pesky suspect counters. And because entering from off-board, they can enter concealed. Now, I have a fire base in form of a medium and heavy machine gun. I'm not sure where to put them exactly, just because there's so much flat terrain, nothing can see. I could move along to this hill here and fire over the orchards onto this one, but that's a waste of firepower. So they're probably just going to all come along this way and set up on top of the hill. It's going to be hard to assault this one. First off, let's put a half squad here. He's going to be my scout, and he's essentially going to suicidally charge up to I3 here, and he's going to expose this one and this one depending if he dies or not. And then from there we'll see how else we go. So I will put the 2 half squads there, one of which will ascend and clear. And then I will put, where do I want to set up? Probably on this side. So they'll be set off board and enter on board through the woods. My other assault group is going to be consisting of 2 groups of 4, 6, 8. How many do I have here? Make sure I got the right number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. It'll be my trailer at the end. All right, and then I finally have my weapon crews. So I've got a 3 crew mortar debts. I think I'll enter them dismantled just because they have no target, so that way they can at least move easier. They'll enter along the road. And then of course I've got my 3 ATRs. I'm not sure where to put those. I'll park them beside there for now. All right, and that's basically what the German attack is going to look like. My objective is going to be to have my assault group on the left advance up into the hills, try and stay concealed, which they should be able to quite easily until they get within range of these hexes here. Once they come into these 3 hexes, they're going to activate these 3 suspects. Maybe it'll be nothing, maybe it'll be something. And from there, we'll see how that plays out. But it gives me a covered approach. Meanwhile, I'll probably move these guys, my kill stack to here. And of course, my half squad's going to rush forward and expose things. One, two, three, four, five, six. Yeah, I could do that. Yeah, that's what I'll do. So, all right, so I have my plan of attack. And now we begin. So we know it's going to be a minimum of 10 turns. Again, with solitaire, there's a chance that the game could extend beyond 10 turns. So there's a possible game end of turn 10. And on a result of 2 or less, the mission ends immediately. So the game could go on inevitably at a time if I don't roll a 2 or less. There's no modifiers to it, just a straight up 2 or less. So I'm just going to quickly check the special mission rules from the campaign itself. So as you can see, EC are moderate with a mild breeze from the southeast. So we have moderate EC. And a breeze from the southeast. All right. Map is going to be orientated towards the north. That way. All right, next up is enemy ELR, which could be variable. So this is a 2 dice roll, a 9, which is an ELR of 2. So the enemy is really hurting. All right, looking good so far. Okay, so parameters are all set. And then finally, there's a final note that says the friendly RE are increased to 6-7 as soon as there are more than 20 units on the map. All right, so this is basically the setup. And as I said, my plan is going to be to focus on the south edge of the map and generally ignore these whenever possible so I don't have to worry about activation. Now, it's kind of gaming the rules because while these could be any potential unit, if I don't activate them, they're never going to do anything. There is an off chance if I roll a certain random event where these will become active and then they'll do something, but in the interim, they're just dormant and I can thus safely ignore all of these. So my main focus of my attack is going to be coming down the hill here, coming up the hill. Alrighty, and we begin. Oh, I need a turn counter. Keep that nice and close. So rally phase, we begin with that because nothing's on board. Basically, nothing happens. No change to the breeze or anything like that can happen. And I cannot roll a random event until at least one enemy unit has been activated, which keeps it kind of fair. All right, so we're basically going to jump right to the movement phase. And in this case, as I said, my 248 is going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 because he's on the road. Yeah, so he'll go 1, 2. Before we do that, I have to do a command die roll. So with squad leader and solitaire, you have what's called command die rolls. And essentially, before any unit can do an action, you make a die roll against its leadership. If it fails that if you're the friendly side and you roll over your leadership, you become panicked. The enemy side has slightly different rules. They basically panic on any doubles rolls when it comes to the same kind of action. So for me, I have to roll my leadership or less, and leaders have command influence, which means this 9-2 can influence anything within 2 hexes of him. So this stack will be controlled by the 9-2 if he makes it, and this stack by the 9-1 if he makes it as well. So because they're leaders, they also get a -1 modifier. So I need a 10 or less to have this 9-2 be in command, which is at 12, which means he is panicked. So right off the bat, first die roll of the game, and this is the beauty of ASL, and solitaire in particular. He is panicked. Now, luckily there's another A1 here, so I can use his leadership modifier. He panics as well. This is an awesome start to the game. Woody? Or is it because they're in platoon formation? Platoon formation gives them an extra -1, so the 9-1, the 8-1 might have made it. Just let me confirm that quickly. Convoy, column, or platoon formation. Oh, I think that's for vehicles. Column is for troops, though. Consult the handy-dandy ASL book. Electronically nowadays, by the way, so if you don't have one, make sure you get one. No, I never specified it, so I mean they are in it. I could use it, but I'll have to use it. 2 more contiguous hexes that contain infantry, cavalry, wagon counters placed such that a continuous line of units 1 hex wide is formed. So this 8-1 and the crews would be 1 stack. So he actually will be in command. Barely. Using a loophole in the rule. So because he can see within 2 hexes, basically these units can all move freely, and the 9-2 will just hang out, doing what a 9-2 does, I guess, when he's panicked. So they have to use impulse movement to move, so I go 1, 2 into the trees. So that would be 2 for everybody. Let me pull him aside. Uh, 2 for you guys. He moves 2 as well. He moves 2 into the trees. That's first impulse. Second impulse. You go 2, 4, 4, 4, 4. And they're going to stop there. I guess I'm going to put them on top again. Yep. All right. And then this guy here, 9-1. Thank God he's a 9-1. He's in command. And he doesn't have to find a loophole. All right. What's it going to do? 2, 4 into the trees. You go 1, 3 up to here. Should not be visible. And you'll go 1, 3 up to there. All right, so that's the movement phase done. Not going to be any defensive fire or advancing fire or route. So we go right to advance phase. So advance there. You'll advance into the trees, which means these 2 now roll for activation. So I'll start with this guy first. And I have to basically roll a... I'll roll with this guy first because he has the best modifiers, because he's adjacent to VPO. If you look at the table here, you can see that -1 if an activated unit is within 2. Where is it? Is an adjacent to a VPO location. So because he's adjacent to a VPO location, he gets a -1. So I need a 4 or less on a single die to activate. So he's activated. What is it? It's an 11. So 2 squads. Squad and half squads, Russians cannot deploy, so it's going to be 2 squads right off the bat. Now, because it's Russian, there's a +2 to the modifier on the table. We'll look at that in a second. So we go 1, 2. So this 11 is going to be a 426, and this 3 is going to be a 628. And if you look at your table here, I can find the center of it. Oh, I can't zoom in. If you look at the table right here, it's going to fall within the parameters of a 628 and a 426. All right, and this guy here, 6. 6 is an automatic nothing, so he's deleted. And this guy here advances. This 468 is going to advance to here. So that'll be breaking the platoon formation. Which means this guy could activate, which he is not, so that's good. And then like a daisy chain, these guys are going to come up here, are they? 1, 2, 4, 8 is going to come up here. The other one's going to move here. With this 628, with the A1. All right, so now I roll for activation for this guy, so he gets a -1 as well. He's activated. 8 is a squad. If you look at the table over here where I'm pointing, you have an 8 is a half squad. Again, they can't deploy, so it's going to be a squad. With a +2, 6 becomes an 8, which I believe is a 447. 6 to 8 is a 447. Which I suppose is better than them just charging blindly up the hill. So everybody else will advance and advance. All right, that's it for the advance phase, and that's the end of the German turn 1. So I always save JPEGs or PNGs so I can keep a track of this. All right, Russian advance rally phase. I'll get that right. So first thing first, we do the wind change die roll. It's a 10, so no random event happens. There's nothing broken or disrupted or anything like that, so we can remove all the, we can ignore this phase, go right into the prep fire phase. So we have a stack here, and they have to roll for panic as well. So anything doubles, and depending on the level of the unit, the quality of the unit, they could panic or not. So we rolled an 8, which is good because that means the 426 panics, but the 628 does not. Now, with panic rules, obviously you're in a state of panic, and as a result, you still have a chance to fire, but you're essentially using final protective fire. So if I roll really crappily for the Russians, that 426 is going to break and run away. So they're going to get a fire command, and they're going to fire on probably that stack right there. Now, because they're panicked, they can only get half firepower, so it's going to be a total of 8 firepower with a +1, which is going to be nothing. So they just wasted their attack. A 12 on the 8 is nothing. All right, this guy here, he does not panic, so he'll get a fire command as well. And this is his only target, so he's going to fire on them. So it's 4 firepower, no modifier. 7 on the 4 should be a... Oh, PTC is it? Okay. And the squad is good. So Russian prep fire has been ineffective. Now it's time for the German defensive fire. So these guys will uncloak. I will roll command 7, so he's in command, which means he can fire, and they're going to fire at this stack right here. Actually, before I do that, this guy broke because I rolled so poorly. All right, so now this stack here, 1836 firepower, no modifier because of the -1 leader. 5 on the 36 is a KIA, I believe, if not a 2, a 2K. So right off the bat, this stack here is dead. Good shooting, guys. Now the 248, which is in a fire on a building, stone building, so it's going to be, I need to roll really well for it to have any effect. Which do I want to bother just in case I get a sniper check? Because the sniper is so low. He's a 3. And what do I need? A 2 plus 3. I need a 3 or less just to get a PTC. So I'm not going to bother firing because it'll draw a sniper, which I haven't put on yet. Oops. Let me put on the snipers quickly. All right, so Russian turn is over. There's no routing to be done. Advanced phase. He's not going to leave his VPO location. Oh, I should have rolled this guy here for activation, these two. Let me back up a bit. We're still going to be in the prep fire. Because I have to roll for these activation, I forgot that they can actually see these guys right here. We can no longer be concealed. I completely missed that. All right, so let's roll. So 2 die rolls, top down, doesn't really matter. 1, 2. -1, -1. So they're both going to activate something. So first one is a 7, which is nothing. If you look at your activation table, a 7 is nothing, so that's good from the German perspective. Second die roll is a 3. Oof. 2 squads, a leader, a fortification, and a support weapon. Let me check the special rules of the mission just in case there's anything funky there. No, there's not. All right, so 2 squads. Again with the +2, we get a 426 and we get a 447. We have a leader, which is a 5. And there's a +1 for being for the year. I'll have to look at my my enlargement. +1 for 1939 to 41, so that 5 becomes a 6, which is an 8-0. Now they can be commissar if I roll a 1 or a 2. So it is a commissar 9-0. Huh, that just got interesting. Support weapon is a 10. Which is an ATR. If you look at the sheet here, if I rolled an 11, it could have possibly been a 50 cal opening up, which, again, this is the vagaries of solitaire. You don't know what you're going to face, which one aspect of the game I actually like. So they have an ATR. And then finally a fortification is a single die roll is a 2, which is an entrenchment. None are elite. They're not all conscripts, so it's a A 2 is a 2, and that makes it an entrenchment. So it's a 2 squad foxhole. And let's see if they panic. They do not panic, so they're going to get a fire command. And this, they only have the one target here. That's what they're going to fire on. So we have a total of 9 firepower, no modifier. 8 on the 9. Is a PTC. No, an 8 on the 9 is an NMC. All right, leader first. He's good. Sniper, however. Why didn't that go off? That's why. Russian sniper, potentially. It is, something is wounded. Oops, sorry. Goes 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now, luckily, he's not on the map board, so he can't be affected. So it's going to be one of these two, and it's probably this stack right here. Actually, it would probably be, you'd probably choose this stack right here. So randomly select. The first one's a 5 from the top down. 4, 5, so 2 of these. Not that it matters because they're off. I can't see anything, so I'm not going to bother marking it, but they're effectively pinned for this round. And the 2 for 8 is good. So surprisingly ineffective Russian firepower. And the Germans thus far are unscathed, although I have 2 pinned, and of course this guy here that refuses to come on board right now. That's it for their prep fire. I've done the German defensive fire phase. Now we're going to basically go to their advanced phase. They don't have any because they're not going to leave fortified position. They're not going to leave a building that's a BPO building, so they don't have any advance. We go to close combat, and these guys can reconceal now because they're in the trees. That could have got a lot worse. Alrighty, so we go into the German turn 2. We start off with wind change die roll. A 10 again, so there's no random event for the Germans. We go into rally phase. There's nothing to rally, so we'll go right into prep fire phase, which I don't think I'll fire. I think I'll just move. Yeah, I'll move. So let's start with this clown here. So he wants to play this time. That's good. He can't affect anybody with his die roll, but at least he can move and join the party. So let's go 2, 4, 6. Before we do that, let me turn off all the moves. This way I can keep track of who actually moved. All right. This 9-1 here is in command. Again, barely. However, he is in command, so they're going to advance. Where's he going to advance to? So he can affect these 2 units. So this unit here is going to assault move into this trees. It will probably force these guys to fire, so I'll roll panic. They are not panicked, so they can defensive fire. And 9 firepower plus 1. 7 on the 9. It's going to strip concealment at least. And it's actually going to be a 1 check. So 2 7s top down. 1, 2. The bottom guy is pinned. All right, these guys are going to assault move into the trees here. These guys will final fire. So again, that'll be 8 firepower. Halved and halved, that'd be 4 firepower plus 1. 4 firepower plus 1. Oof. Oof. On the plus side, I did a sniper, so let's see the German sniper. Is a 2. He goes 1 for 3. 1, 2, 3. And I'll put him on this stack right here. So top down to see who it affects. Commissar, 426, and the 447. Wow. There you go, folks. So he's wounded. Let's check severity die roll. 1, so he's good. That was interesting. 3 1s in a row. 4 1s in a row if you count the wound die roll. You gotta love RNG. Okay, so that's pinned, but they still get a chance to fire. So their IFT roll was a 4, plus 1's a 5. On the 4 is a 1 check. So leader top down, we go 1 check. So he is pinned. So the 468 is good. The LMG 468 is broken. The other one is broken. So these two are broken. And the 9-1 is pinned. Not a promising start, but I guess I kind of knew that going in. So these guys are going to solid move into the trees. Roll for activation on this guy. He is activated. 8 is a squad, plus 2 is a 426. There, no chance of panic on the turn they're activated, so he'll have a little chance to have a fire. So 4 plus 1 is a 6 on the 4. That's, yeah. Good shooting guns. So NMC 468 LMG is good, and the other dude is broken. Okay, okay. This 248, I have to roll to command for this A1 here. 9 or less, so he's in command. This half squad is going to jump the hedge for 1. Roll activation on this guy. A 4 becomes a 3 because he's in the VPO location. And a 5 is a squad leader and support weapon. So this is not panning out well. So squad plus 2 is a 10, is a 527. We have a leader. A 7 becomes an 8, which is a 7-0. And a support weapon, an 11. 11 was a 50 cal on a 1. Whew. So it's a Russian HMG, which, you know, is just as bad. All right, and they're going to fire the HMG, so 6 firepower minus 2 on those guys. Whew. 9 on the 6 is a miss. Wow. Yeah. Damn, son. And no rate of fire because they he didn't roll rate of fire. What to do? So they're going to advance further. Oh, and I got to put a residual firepower down. So 6 would be 3, reduced down to a 2 firepower, residual. So I could assault move up on top of the hill and just suffer a 2 firepower with a -1. Well, it seems kind of risky. I don't think I will be doing that. This squad is going to assault move into here with this stack. I'll put him down at the bottom because he's concealed, and as a result, he'll suffer some residual firepower as well. We said there was 9, have to be 4.5 on the 4 table. Halved would be... No, would it be halved? Yes, it would be halved because they're still concealed. So on the 2 table with a +1. 4 on the 2, 5 on the 2. Is a normal morale check. And he is pinned. Good thing he's already under a pin marker. All right, we'll get rid of these. Sorry, I should have moved these guys. Those guys will stay there. My mortars will stay off the hill for now. And I think my machine guns are going to wait to see what transpires out of here before they go further. Or I could move them over to the left. That would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, they wouldn't be able to do it. I could assault up the hill. I have a 4 with a -1 firepower on them. But I've been rolling really well for the Russians. On the 4 -1 could be interesting. Without any leader there, they're probably going to break and leave their guns. And worst case, they get a KIA. No, they'll stay there. I'll play this safe for now. May as well. I do have time. I have 10 turns to at least secure these 3 places. And the less victory points I give them, I could just turtle after taking these 3. All right, so Russian defensive fire phase, none to be had. We go to advanced fire phase. B1, B half, never mind. All right, we'll do this stack onto here. Or should I do a fire group? I mean, he is pinned. Yeah, I'll do a fire group, combine these stacks against these guys here. So we have 4, 8, 11, plus 4 is 15 firepower, plus 2. Eight on the 15 is a 1 check. So the commissar. Commissar is broken. 426. 426 is disrupted. And the 447 is pinned. So he's still pinned. Okay. I guess we'll have some close combat this turn. Yeah, oh, my bad. I completely forgot. I gotta roll this guy here for activation. So let's do that. So he's a 6. Whew. Apologies, I should have done that before. Might have impacted things. Yeah, this was a bit unexpected here, having a heavy machine gun. German route phase. Attacker first, so all these guys are going to retreat back to here. I think the leader is going to break as well and join his stack. And you guys are going to join him as well. Oops, let's actually get to the place. That finger's not working. 3 squads and a leader. Okay, good. And we have the Russians. So they're going to retreat one here. The commissar is going to run into this house, going 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, he'll stay there. All right, and then we have advance phase. So we're going to go into here. These squads are going to go into here. Whatever, get the idea. You're going to come here. You're going to go up here. Here. What are you guys going to do? Cannon fodder? I'm hoping that they'll fire on these two guys and not on this one here, depending on how they roll. Although if I were to take command, obviously I would probably fire on the bigger threat. But we shall see what that is. Then I have my mortars on the road. I think they're going to stay where they are for now. Oh, I forgot to move this guy here. He never even fired. He's only half squad. They're going to go into the... oh, I didn't have to break my leader. Oh well. I could have used my A1 to... go rally the guys here. Alrighty, so we have melee. Excellent. So let's do this one first. So this is straight up 1-to-1. Let's roll for ambush. So defender first and attacker. No ambush. So 1-to-1. Attacker first. I rolled an 8, which is... what is close combat? 5 or less. All right, so and the defender. So they are locked in. Or no, that'd be melee. This one here. So defender for pin ambush. Rolled a 3. Attacker for ambush. I rolled a 6. Luckily, he's pinned. +1 is pinned. So there's no ambush. So attacker first, we have 8 firepower versus 4. So we have 2-to-1 odds. 7 on 2-to-1 is enough to do half squad damage. And then a 4 halved is 2 firepower. Let's see who they attack. 1 is a on the tables here. You look at who they attack. Table A3E. So I rolled a did I roll a 1? A 1. Combine all units into 1 versus 1 friendly unit. So they're only going to attack 1 unit. So they'll take the one with the LMG. So 2-to-4. Wrong. A 4-to-4 is a 1-to-1. 1-to-1 odds. 7 on 1-to-1. It was nothing. I needed a 5 or less. So they are locked in melee with a half squad. That'll come off. We'll get rid of the command markers, and that is it for the end of the German turn 2. All right, moving along. Wind change die roll for the Russians is a 5. Missed their RE by 1, so that's good. We have broken units now, so we can't self-rally. You'll stay despo because of the adjacent Germans, and you'll have to move. We have a commissar. And the commissar is rallied. All right. Then we have the German rallies, and we have these ones here. So we have a broken 9-1. Nope. All right. We go to Russian prep fire phase. So let's start with you here. You do have a target, so let's see if he panics. He does not panic. Fire command, so before firepower, +1. 10 on the 4 should be nothing. Yeah. And you guys here, they do not panic. What is their fire command? It is a 4. The closest passenger rider's crew, if no excess fire, and if otherwise fire at closest target, least terrain. So you know, by the rules, they should be doing this, which basically means that they would fire as I thought on the half squad or these crews. However, I think I'm going to override that. I'm going to have them fire the HMG against this. It would make sense. Yeah, I'll do that. So 6 firepower, no modifier. 5 on the 6. This may end up costing me, but I think it's more fair to do it that way. 5 on the 6 is a 1 check. So the 9-2 is good. So it becomes a +1. So I need a 9 for this guy. He's broken. The MMG is pinned and the HMG is pinned. Okay, that worked out pretty good. Rate of fire, they do have rate of fire, so they'll fire again. So 6 plus 6 no modifier, and 11 this time, so that's nothing. So they are done firing. Russian movement phase, there is none. And we go to defensive fire phase. 2 plus 3. Again, I need a 3 or less just to cause a pinning cast check. That would kind of draw sniper fire. Let's see if these guys panic. So the leader does not panic, which is great. And the crews will fire their machine guns. So we have a 7-12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that is 20 firepower, halved is 10 with a no modifier. 10 no modifier. 5 on the 10. And they do have rate of fire on the guns. 5 on the 10 is a 2 check. So the 7-0 is pinned and the 5-2-7 is broken. All right, so they'll fire the machine guns again. So that's 12, 6 firepower, no modifier. 6 on the 6. 1 check. Yep. So the 7-0 is good. No, it's Russian sniper. And then the broken 5-2-7 is good. And because they're pinned, their rate of fire got reduced, which means there's no rate of fire on the guns. So that's it for that. I think that's going to be it for German defensive fire. I don't want to risk activating a sniper on these guys. Russian advancing fire phase is none. We go to rout phase. So these guys will advance one more. I should have rolled for this guy to see if he activates. He does activate because there's an adjacent unit. 6 is a squad, plus 2 is a 7 is a 4-4-7. So he's going to advance into the melee. Support his guys if he makes his command roll, which he does. Yeah. Advance phase. Everybody's going to stay where they are. Close combat. We'll go to this one first. So we have reinforcements that have arrived. So we have now a 2-1 advantage for the Russians. So let's see what happens. A 2-1. That'll be a K. And a 4-2. What is a 1-2? I would need a 4. Or I can go 1-to-1, I need a 5. I'll take on the 4-4-7 on a 1-to-1, so I need a 5 or less. 5 or less. So I took somebody with me. So right away the Russians have 2 victory points. Other combat over here, Russians first, so let's see what they do. They roll a 5. A 5 is combine units into 1 versus all friendly personnel, so that would be ridiculous. They're going to take on the 4-6-8 with the LMG, so it'll be a 1-to-2, the need of 4 or less. Nothing. And I need a 8-to-2, 4-to-1 odds. I need a 9 or less. Yeah. So they are dead. And that becomes access. Now we don't know what the victory point total is for those VPOs. I won't find out until the mission's over. When I roll randomly, it could be anywhere from 0 to a 6. I think 6 is the max, maybe 7. But yeah, so I'm hoping that maybe a turtling going on. We'll see. See how this battle pans out. All right, so that's it for the close combat phase. Get rid of all the pins, get rid of all the prep fires. Oh, you're broken. Oh, I forgot to move him. You'll just retreat down into the hills, into the trees. And we go to German rally phase of turn 3. Okay, let's go along. Wind change. Of 3, so there is a friendly reinforcement roll. It is a 13, but there's a modifier for the colored die roll. Where is it here? No, not there. There's a -1 to the colored die roll on table 11. That only applies to the allies, not or to the enemy, not friendly. So I have a 13. 13 is motorized infantry reinforcements. You look at the back, these are what a random event table looks like. So this is what I've rolled. So I get a motorized infantry reinforcements. Alrighty. RE 3436, which is 2 die roll, A6B, so 1, 2, a 5, and a 4. 5 and a 4 is 2, so there's going to be 4 squads. So 4, 4, 6, 8s. Because it's SS, I'm going to keep them all as the same unit cohesion. Two, 3, 4. So what is that? 4 times 4 is 16, divided by 3 would be 4.5. 5? No, 4.5. 4.5, so that means I get 1 liter and a 70. So So we get an 8-0 and a 7-0. And one LMG. This is your standard Chapter H rules on building your own company. This table right here. Actually, I don't even get an LMG. I need 6 for that. But I do get 2 leaders because their leader generation number is 4. And it's 4.5, so I get rounded up. I get 7-0. All right. Reinforcements have arrived. So I'm going to set them up in column formation just off board. I'm labeling these RE so I know not to count them later on when it comes to doing the refit phase in between sessions. All right, I'm going to stop the video here. This is only for the people that are watching this on YouTube, so keep the segment short. If you see this on YouTube and you think I've earned it, give me a like, and feel free to leave comments down below when I've missed something, which I probably have. I'm by no means an expert in a lot of these rules, although I have played a lot, but I'm always willing to take your constructive criticism to improve my gameplay. And we'll see you guys in the next video.